the system.
How you doing?
Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame in.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast with your hosts, Jared Wicks and Brandon Icebreaker Clements. Tweet us using the handle at Heel to the Face.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Brandon and Jared.
Back from the Royal Rumble, this is the Heel to the Face podcast. We are joined to my right, if you're watching on YouTube, with Icebreaker Clements. You can find him on Twitter at Icebreaker21. Myself, Jared Wicks. Find me on Twitter at KRockJared. And most importantly, follow the program at Heel to the Face as we are coming off of the 2019 Royal Rumble NXT TakeOver and a busy week that was Raw and SmackDown on the road to WrestleMania. So without further ado, let's get this week's edition of the show underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening
With a 20-minute time limit.
So the Royal Rumble this past weekend from Phoenix, Arizona. A few takeaways I'll get from being there. I feel really bad complaining because you ask so much of WWE, and they did go out of there. They did do something, but there was still, I feel like such a nerd, I guess, complaining when they give you something and then
really,
and then you still, meaning they put it in Chase Field. They gave it a WrestleMania Junior feel. People from all over the world were there. They did to Royal Rumble, one of the big pay-per-views, what I feel that they should have, what they feel that they always should do. It should be like that every year. It should be an event. It shouldn't just be at the
another pay-per-view.
It shouldn't just be in Buffalo at the arena. It shouldn't just be in Boston. It should be.
So do you want it where the AAA Buffalo teams team place? I mean, you can't really do it in January, but
Yeah.
I mean, equivalent to that, like a AAA stadium out west, maybe.
Well, I mean, a Major League Stadium was fine because I want it to be more than an arena. For example, the Royal Rumble is the second biggest pay-per-view of the year in my eyes, in most people's eyes. So it should have the second largest crowd. Shouldn't be in a football stadium. Doesn't need that, and clearly it wasn't sold out this past week at Chase Field, so it didn't need that. But I liked that it was a step up. I liked that it was unique, and I liked that they didn't have the Raw set. I liked that it felt like almost WrestleMania, and that's what the Royal Rumble is. It's almost WrestleMania. What does the NFC Championship game feel like? It feels like almost the Super Bowl. What does the Elite Eight feel like? Almost the Final Four. Yeah. So that's what I want it to feel like. I don't want it to feel like Armageddon.
It's a slight step below. That's really what it comes down to.
Still, though, the WWE, they still cheapen out in a few places.
I knew you were going to say, where's the pyro?
Not just the pyro.
I was waiting
Where
for
was
it.
the sign? No sign. They put it on the video board instead of bringing out the sign.
I know, I saw
which
that.
was really annoying because they had the sign. So clearly, just like the reason why we have the Raw and SmackDown sets are the same, they had one sign. And instead of having to set it up at the field, take it down, bring it over to the arena, set it up again, they thought, why don't we just set it up once? So they set it up at Talking
Smart on
Stick.
their part.
Well, not smart on their part, cheap on their part, lazy on their part.
Saving
Yeah.
money.
See, back in the day, they would set it up at the stadium, take it down, and then set it up at the next place. Now they're just lazy. They set it up once, or they don't have two signs. So that's also cheap. We only have one sign. We set it up one place. So the other place, you get the scoreboard.
So to your point, you obviously didn't see like the graphics they put on, right? Like you didn't see like when Asuka came out, you didn't see like her graphic on the screen because it was on the screen. Like you didn't see
No,
any of that
I
stuff.
did not see that. So when they came out, it would show their entrance all the way until they got to the ring. And then on the video boards, it would have the WWE Network feed. So it didn't have the ad on. So it would have the video. It didn't have, like, I couldn't see them walking. Meaning on the board, I couldn't see them walking. So, yeah, it would show their entrance video from them walking. And then when they got to the ring, it would be like the match. It would be like the camera feed. But it wouldn't show them actually proceeding to the ring.
Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering because, like, when I'm watching it, I was watching it at home, watching it on the network, and it has, like, we've seen it before. Like, they have these, like, weird graphic looking things.
Yes, I know. I rewatched, like, the pre-show when I got home, and I saw some of those, like, floating graphics that had, like, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, WWE Championship, like, hanging. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on those?
Again, it's just like a cheap way to add to the event without adding actual stuff to the event.
Why don't they?
We can add excitement to the event to the person.
Do pyro. Go back.
Because what you saw was free. That's why.
Well, yeah, I know. It's you
Here's
have
the
somebody
thing.
in a truck
And here's
doing
the thing with pyro. Nobody demands that they have amazing amounts of pyro. I get it. You want to save some money. Clearly, you could have just had pyro after the Royal Rumble matches when the Royal Rumble guys won. You could have the '90s pyro, where it's just like the quick like firecracker stuff. It doesn't have to be straight up fireworks. It doesn't have to be lavish.
Well, yeah, nothing
It could just
crazy.
be like the sparks that come from the like the lights over the ring. Nobody wants and nobody demands anything crazy. Just something. Just a little something. When the show starts, pyro, and then that's it. You don't have to have pyro for every entrance. Maybe just when the show starts. Maybe just when the show ends. Just once, that's fine. I don't understand why they have to cheapen out. Not have it at all. It's annoying because, again, when the show starts, it just doesn't have that oomph. Like, when they 5 seconds until we're live on the air. Before, I used to love that going to a show, going to a Raw, going to a SmackDown. Right when it hit, like that's how you know the difference between the pre-show, the main show. That's like the intro to the show.
Exactly. Yes.
I've gone to a few heavy metal concerts recently, and one thing, I went to a Slipknot concert, and they had a big Slipknot thing over the stage, covering where they were. So when they actually hit the stage, like the curtain dropped, so you didn't get to see what it looked like until the curtain dropped.
That's cool.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Like if they
where'd you see the concert?
I was right here in Syracuse. It was probably like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say recently. I was like, I didn't even know
that kind of stuff kind of give you that. That's how you know the show's starting. That kind of gives you like a adrenaline rush to the start of the show. Not just we're on the air and then they're. Well, I used to like it.
I used to like especially like Raw and SmackDown as a kid, where you get those fireworks at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I love that. Like then
it's just that amplify. Like the show's underway.
It's like live from wherever they are at that point.
It just shows you the difference between the pre-show, the main show. It really gets you amped up for like the first match to get started and to get the show started.
Speaking of the pre-show, we'll start there. What did you think of the pre-show? Do you think the matches were in the right spot?
So I didn't watch the first match, the tag team match. I was coming in right when that was taking place. The second, I was talking to some people, and it's what a year it has been for Shinsuke.
I know.
From winning the Royal Rumble to being on the pre-show to losing the U.S. Championship to R-Truth.
Yeah, that was a surprise this week, by the way.
Yeah, what a year it was for Shinsuke Nakamura to be at the all-time high and to fall down as far as he did.
Do you think he's regretting coming to the WWE from Japan at this point?
I mean, I don't know, because, there's a lot of money in it still, and he still is wrestling. But, yeah, his stock has fallen off big time.
Yeah, because when he came here, there was like everybody was like, oh, Shin. Now it's like pre-show.
And I feel maybe his entrance, it needs to go back to the original. I feel like the new one is a little too fast-paced. It doesn't have that slow build like it used to.
Well, yeah, and then he had like what do they call that light? Like the
strobe light?
Strobe light, yes. Yeah. So like in the beginning where like he's doing like his thing in the beginning. Before like they had the music and like before they added words to it, it was just, just the melody. I like that. I wish they'd go back to that. Just like I wish they would use the demon for Finn Balor more.
Yeah.
More of it. I mean, it doesn't have to be literally like every Raw and SmackDown, but like, yes, at pay-per-views, like, yes, I want to see the demon. I think what they do with the demon is, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you guys can fact check or you can fact check me right now. I don't think he's ever lost in WWE as the demon.
No, he's not. No.
So like my thing is like my thought process was if he was coming out as a demon, he's beating Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he came out and I was like, all right, he's just going to get whooped.
Okay, as a big Brock Lesnar fan, happy he won. But I tell you this much, disappointed in that match because of the fact I like Brock Lesnar because he dominates. That's why I think it's fun. I like that he dominates. I didn't like what they did here. They didn't have him dominate. They had Finn Balor dominate, and then he just puts on a submission hold, and then that's it. I mean, I would have liked it if Brock Lesnar then countered with 5 or 6 suplexes and then really like took it to Finn Balor, then finished the match. I don't like that they had Finn Balor do all that, and then Brock Lesnar did nothing.
True.
He didn't even give him a suplex after that. I want to say. Yeah,
that match. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that match, I kind of tuned out too. Like I was watching it, but I'm like, all right, let's get to the Rumble, which by the way was a very disappointing Rumble. I mean, no offense, and I hope I'm not trying to put this the wrong way. If your big surprise was Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble, like when they're advertised, like they're like teasing, like there's a huge surprise, you let the whole universe down. Like that's cool. You put Nia Jax in.
Yeah,
she got RKO'd. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, that was such a waste of thing.
I mean, Jeff
yes,
Jarrett was cool. I really like that. But other than that, I mean, no
Johnny
big
Wrestling
surprise.
was cool. Johnny Wrestling
Yeah.
was cool. That was cool. I like that.
Nobody was in the Rumble that got called up.
Where's Dream? Where was Velveteen Dream? What are we doing? Like, what's going on with him? Because I thought surefire that he was in.
Yeah.
I thought he was in.
Well, and again, any of the NXT guys that were in were not call-ups. Aleister Black, Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah.
All of them are still in NXT.
Yeah, but I think those guys,
I mean, especially with Johnny Gargano just winning the belt. He's the new North American champion. Seems like he's going to re-team up with Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, the DIY again. I mean, here's what I'll say. Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black, I do see them after WrestleMania. I think they're going to run it out for the WrestleMania season. I think you're going to see them coming to, the main roster, Raw or SmackDown, depending on how things are shaking up at that point. You're going to see them, the Raw after or the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I think those two are a definite promotion.
So the men's Royal Rumble, they all came out, and I'd have to assume because the Royal Rumble started, 11 o'clock Eastern time? I mean, it started late.
It was late. Yeah, it was a late night.
Only went about 55 minutes. I think they were coming out 1 minute at a time.
And it ended about midnight.
Yeah, so the women's Royal Rumble, they were coming out at the good 90 second because the match lasted 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Yes.
From last I read. About 1 hour and 6 minutes for the women's Royal Rumble that featured, I won't lie, I've never watched a Royal Rumble women's or men's before. I didn't know a lot of those people.
What, in the women's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I'm like, I mean, I knew some of them. Like, I didn't know was it Z Lee? Zia Lee or something?
There was
like
a few in there.
I mean,
there was the American Ninja Warrior girl. I mean, she was fascinating. I enjoyed her in the Rumble. The one that's under 5 foot.
Yeah, Casey.
Yeah.
Casey Canizero, I think her name is.
But there was like there was like the Japanese woman that was part of a tag team with Kari San.
Well, yeah, but I know who she was though. Io, I know Io.
Yeah, I heard of her because she was on the pre-show at NXT Takeover. But
Candice LeRae was all right. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was fine. Yeah, overall, I thought both Rumbles weren't that great.
One thing too that I'm very surprised in, and this is probably why WWE they're not spending the money because a great weekend overall. So NXT had a crowd at it that I'd expect. So I was in the upper deck. The non-television side was closed off. So lower level, both for all sides, sold out. And then from end zone, from TV side, from the end zone all the way over, full, even including a little behind the stage. But the non-TV side, curtained off. Understandable. Monday Night Raw, the entire upper deck was curtained off. Not just the non-TV side, the entire upper deck. And those are some good seats. Like if you have dead center row 1 in the upper deck in a small arena.
You can see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a coveted seat. I had dead center for NXT. I was the last row all the way to the top. But, those are good $60, $70 seats in the upper deck if you can get row 1 or row 2 because you're kind of actually got the best view in the house.
It's like vantage point.
It's like upper deck 50-yard line first row where you're like above the action, but you can see the whole field.
Yeah, you got a good view.
Yeah. So that's one of the best views because,
how was the attendance at Raw since you were there?
The entire
the lower bowl was full?
The lower bowl was full mostly. Behind me was kind of scattered off in a corner.
Wow.
I think that's where they relocated a lot of the people that were in the upper deck. So they did sell upper deck seats because they were for sale when I was actually checking, heading over to Raw. I was looking and there was actually a lot of upper deck seats for sale. So what they were doing is if you bought those seats, they were relocating you to the lower level.
Yeah, they bring somebody over to usher you down.
Yeah, because when I came in there, I saw people at the ticket office were talking and they were getting their seats exchanged. The same was happening for the Royal Rumble, actually. Some people that were off in a corner were getting relocated as well. Mm-hmm. They put one of the last, I want to say by the foul pole, that section was for sale and people bought tickets. I know when I went to buy tickets, it was there. It was for sale, had a chance. And as I was walking by, because I was probably 5 sections from that, and I was looking for concessions, I saw a guy who had a table, was just stacked full of tickets, and apparently he was in front of where you would enter for that section. So if you were to enter that section, he was going to stop you, give you 2 tickets to a different, or how many tickets you had, to a different section. So they were relocating more people to the television side.
The reason why they do that is they want to make it look nicer on TV. That's what it really comes down to. They don't want to. They don't want it sporadic, like scattered here, there, and there. They want you.
It wasn't sold out, but again, 35,000 seats not sold out is still better than 20,000 seats sold out. I would rather see a football stadium. I would rather see WrestleMania at a football stadium with 60,000 than WrestleMania at Barclays Center with 16,000 full. You know what I mean? You'd rather.
It depends. It depends on how they make it look.
Well, no, yeah, but I'm saying that overall, it's just when they did make. Well, if 60,000, they could still make it look good. What I'm saying is,
Well, yeah, move people from the top bowl to the lower bowl.
either way, I'd rather the Royal Rumble have gotten the presentation it did, because again, being at such a large venue does encourage people like myself and others. There were people from Australia, England, Nebraska, Kansas, all parts of Canada at the Royal Rumble, and I would assume that if it was just a talking stick arena, it wouldn't have been that. It would have
You
been.
wouldn't have got as many.
It would have just been.
You
Mostly
get
locals.
you do get some diehards though. You do get diehards.
Yeah, but
that
it
come
wouldn't have
from England
been
and stuff.
In order to have that large crowd, you had to get people from out of town. And if it had that many people, it wouldn't have had Royal Rumble access. It wouldn't have had the Royal Rumble Super Show. It wouldn't have had all of that stuff going on. Dolph Ziggler, I wasn't aware that he wasn't supposed to be in the Rumble
I was
until after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him there, I was before the show or before the Rumble started. I'm like, well, we can count off Dolph Ziggler. I mean, I heard he's on a hiatus. Is what I read.
So he announced that he was going to be at Stand Up Live, which, fun story, after the Royal Rumble was over, he and Kurt Hawkins both pushed me on my shoulder with their bags as they were running to Stand Up Live so he could get to his comedy set. I was over there trying to get something to eat after the show was over, and next thing you know, Dolph Ziggler and Kurt Hawkins just brushed right by me with some other people I didn't recognize, some staff or whatever, and they were running up the steps to get to Stand Up Live, and I know he does a stand-up, so that's when I pulled it on my phone, saw he was scheduled for 9:30. This was about 10:40, so he was scheduled for 9:30.
He was late.
Yeah, thinking that he wasn't going to be at the Rumble, so he could schedule it for 9:30.
I wonder if that was like somebody that was a last minute replacement, because I did read that Kurt Angle was not supposed to be scheduled to the Royal Rumble. They actually had Zack Ryder scheduled. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. But I guess WWE wanted more of a pop, so they replaced Zack Ryder last minute with Kurt Angle. That's what I read.
So, yeah, Dolph Ziggler in the Royal Rumble. So I wasn't, and I wasn't familiar that John Cena until recently got hurt and wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't think this stuff is made that tight to the time, but apparently they were really hyping up John Cena to be in the Rumble regardless. Meaning billboards all over town did not have John Cena on it. John Cena was not on the program, was not on the cup. So WWE, even with John Cena in it, was still trying to get away from just him being on everything and trying to advertise other stars.
Which is good. I think they realize John Cena's shelf life is coming, coming to an end. He's going to be doing more Hollywood. You're going to see him less and less. Now, the Royal Rumble, the whole pay-per-view as a whole, what are your takeaways? I did not expect Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan to be a little
As soon
team.
as Eric Rowan came out, though, you knew what side he was on.
Well, yeah, look at the flannel.
Yeah.
you knew like as soon as the attire, I'm like, yep, he's. I thought that was an odd pairing, but I think I'm curious. I mean, now I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this little duo.
You can add Luke Harper to that?
What are they going to call it? The Bryan family?
Maybe.
I'm just curious because it was something I wasn't expecting. Eric Rowan came out. I'm like, oh. I didn't expect that. I wasn't surprised by the finish. That doesn't surprise me. I kind of wanted AJ Styles. I think that's who I picked last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's who I picked.
I picked Daniel Bryan because he's a new champion. I didn't see that happening.
But I will say this: thought I did pretty good with the Royal Rumble. I did accurately predict Seth Rollins as winner. Finished second in the women, so I did pick Charlotte. So I thought I did pretty good with the 30 men and 30 women Rumble. So that was, good stuff. Very very surprised by Shane and Miz, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't expect them to win the champion. I was thinking heel turn, but I think we'll wait for a WrestleMania for that one.
Yeah, or maybe even, there's still not just one, but forget there's 2 pay-per-views. And now without brand extension, that means not one is going to be Raw. Like before, there would be 2 pay-per-views, but it was one for Raw, one for SmackDown. Both are going to be on both, so there's 2 pay-per-views for both brands coming up.
Do you think the heel turn happens at one of these?
Maybe. There's lots of time to do it. That's all I'm saying.
Got a couple months.
Yeah. So moving over to Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. Is that what you want to see? I personally want Seth versus Daniel Bryan instead.
I do want Seth versus Brock. I think Seth is on fire. With this whole thing with Triple H kind of like lighting a fire under him and stuff. I think it's good. I think it's good for the business where Seth takes the belt from Brock at WrestleMania. So I'm okay with that.
I just like Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins. It seems more organic of those styles. It's like
I get
it's
that
how like
part of
last year you had Shinsuke, AJ for the technical wrestlers, and then you had Roman and Brock for the Beast. I mean, so I'd like to see Brock maybe versus Braun.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what's going to happen is Seth's going to beat Brock at WrestleMania. I know this is, we're going months in advance. I think Seth's going to win at WrestleMania, and then you're going to see Seth and Braun some point after that, maybe SummerSlam.
So what do you have now for Braun at WrestleMania?
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Naturally, I would see him with Brock.
They might slide him in as a triple threat.
I hope they don't. There's still rumors that they're going to make the women's match a triple threat with Charlotte. There's rumors of that. There's also rumors that it's not. But either way,
we'll see. I mean, it's still.
If that's a triple threat, I definitely don't want. And now, who do you have for Daniel Bryan?
I mean, I think they've played this AJ Styles thing out.
Yeah.
I want to see Andrade.
You think that quick WrestleMania?
I love Andrade. He's so good. I like the mask we have behind us too. Oh, actually, where did you get that from? We were talking before the show. I didn't get an answer.
This mask is from authentically Tijuana, Mexico. If you're watching on YouTube, we have a Lucha Libre mask behind us. I made sure to pick out the one that was in the Mexican colors, kind of as a souvenir to be actually in Mexico. Big Rey Mysterio fans, you could get his poster everywhere. And fun stuff about Mexico and about how they love wrestling down there. Everything, like toy-wise, is wrestling, even non-wrestling things. For example, here you'd buy Superman action figure, Iron Man action figure. There you buy those, but they come with wrestling rings and they fight like wrestling. I mean, that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is Batman, but in a ring. Instead of, like you watch the movie Batman, and I was trying to tell this to somebody the other day, it's sports and superheroes kind of mixed together. If
really is.
When you were a kid and you played the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video game, or the Ninja Turtles video game or the Batman video game, it didn't have the storylines of the shows. It didn't have money and drugs and sex and relationships. It just had Batman, Joker, fight. That's what wrestling is. It's
pretty much, if you simplify it, yeah.
Yeah, so you could if you bought Iron Man and his competitor, I don't know much about the superheroes, the Avengers, whatever, or you bought Superman and you bought Batman, they actually had like a wrestling ring that would have Batman logo in the center and it'd be like Batman, Joker, and they'd be wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, even like non-wrestling stuff, was wrestling related.
Yeah, it's cool mask.
They had like Simpsons characters as little wrestlers. Like you could buy them as like the old LGN wrestlers.
Did you get anything else from Tijuana or just the mask?
You mean like diseases, sicknesses?
No, I'm talking about like I don't know, stuff. Like memorabilia. I don't know. Like
no, just
gift shop,
the shot glasses, the other stuff. Let me tell you, I found out what it was like to be a female because there was not a lot of Americans there, but there was not a lot at all when I went over there. So it's pretty much you're treated like you're a girl. I couldn't walk in front of a store without being lured in or being tried to lure it everywhere, restaurant, store.
Hey,
I mean,
come on in. Hey,
yeah. But it was like they would follow you down the street. Like after you pass, I'm like, come on. No. You want to come back. No, I got all sorts of stuff. Come on. You want to eat here. No, you want to come in. Come on.
How was the food?
Overrated. I was expecting Mexican food to be a little better authentically. But I guess they hype it up a little more. It's a little more jazzed up in the States.
So is it
a little bland, a little more cheaply made?
Well, I don't want to diss the Tijuana folks, but is it like would you rather go to a Taco Bell?
No, not a Taco Bell.
I'd
rather go. We have some great Mexican restaurants here in Syracuse. I'd probably rather go to one of those than a Mexican restaurant.
So like, what's the one in Liverpool? Mesa Grande, maybe.
Yeah.
And then there was a Boom Boom Max back in the day. I don't know if that's still around.
I feel, I don't know. I only went to one place, had one meal. It was just kind of bland. It was like just tasted like they were,
Did you get your Coke in a glass bottle?
No.
I know
they had that there. I got a Coke in a can.
Because I know like there's you can buy stuff online. You can buy like it's I think it's Mexico. It's like made in Mexico. Like they have like Coca-Cola bottles in glass still.
I mean, you can buy Coca-Cola bottles in glass still here though.
Well, yeah, but it was like a special stuff that's like made in Mexico. I don't know.
I mean, the Coke can had Mexican writing all over it. I mean, or Spanish, not Mexican writing. Spanish.
Mexican. Yeah, I was gonna say that's Spanish.
So to finish out this segment, the final takeaways of the Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bray Wyatt. Where are all these guys?
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I was looking for at the Royal Rumble. I know you were looking for Kenny Omega. I didn't see that coming, but I was hoping for I was hoping for EC3, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, some sort of returns here.
WWE, you dropped the ball.
We didn't get any returns, and the NXT guys that got sent in the Royal Rumble were not call-ups. They're going back to NXT. So nobody that was in other than maybe Jeff Jarrett, now that he's a producer, making an appearance here or there.
Yeah, which I think with the Dean Ambrose point signing to him leaving, I think it's his work.
Well, when we come back on YouTube, you will listen to whether it's a working out. That was our Twitter question of the week. Dean Ambrose reported leaving WWE. If you're watching us on YouTube, you got to click on that video to see what our podcast listeners voted for and what we think about Dean Ambrose leaving after WrestleMania.